United Nations Day 2025.
More than ever before in human history, we share a common destiny. We can master it only if we face it together.
It was the year 1945. The guns of the Second World War had finally fallen silent, but the world was in ruins, cities reduced to dust, economies broken, and humanity scarred by unimaginable loss. Nations realized one bitter truth. If they didn't learn to live together, they would perish together. Out of that desperation for peace, a new idea was born: the United Nations. And in 2025, as this organization turns 80 years old, the world pauses to ask,
has that dream of global unity survived? Can we still build our future together?
The birth of the United Nations. In April 1945, delegates from 50 countries gathered in San Francisco, USA, for what became known as the United Nations Conference on International Organization. For 2 intense months, they debated every word of a document that would reshape history, the UN Charter. On 26 June 1945, the Charter was signed, and 4 months later, on 24 October 1945, when major powers like China, France, the Soviet Union, the United Kingdom, and the United States, along with a majority of signatories, ratified it, the United Nations officially came into being. That date, 24 October, is what we now celebrate every year as United Nations Day, a reminder of the moment humanity chose cooperation over conflict.
The newly formed United Nations had one purpose above all others: to save succeeding generations from the scourge of war. Its core aims, written in the first lines of the Charter, were 1. To maintain international peace and security, 2. To promote social progress and better living standards, and 3. To strengthen human rights and fundamental freedoms. In simple terms, the UN was meant to be the world's conscience, a place where disputes could be resolved through dialogue, not destruction.
The UN quickly became the most universal and representative body in the world. Today, with 193 member states, it remains the only forum where every nation, large or small, has a voice. 80 years of achievements. 1. Since 1948, the UN has deployed more than 70 peacekeeping missions in conflict zones across the globe. These missions have helped countries recover from war, protect civilians, and build institutions of governance. Thousands of UN peacekeepers have sacrificed their lives for the cause of peace. 2. The World Health Organization, WHO, a UN agency, has coordinated global vaccination campaigns, eradicated smallpox, reduced polio by 99%, and led the fight against pandemics including COVID-19. 3. The World Food Programme, WFP, provides food assistance to over 100 million people every year. The UN Refugee Agency, UNHCR, protects more than 30 million displaced people worldwide. 4. And UNICEF, working in 190 countries, safeguards children's rights to education, nutrition, and safety. 5. UNESCO has preserved more than 1,000 World Heritage Sites, protected endangered languages, and promoted access to quality education. 6. In 1948, the UN General Assembly adopted the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, a landmark document proclaiming that all human beings are born free and equal in dignity and rights. 7. In 2015, the UN launched the Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, 17 interconnected objectives designed to eliminate poverty, promote equality, and protect the planet by 2030.
Yet, even as the UN marks its 80th year, the challenges it faces are greater than ever. Armed conflicts continue in Ukraine, Gaza, Sudan, and other regions. Inequality is widening. Climate change is accelerating. And digital technology, artificial intelligence, surveillance, cyber warfare brings new morale and security dilemmas.
Many critics say the UN Security Council is stuck in 1945. Its 5 permanent members, the US, UK, France, Russia, and China, still hold veto power, allowing any one of them to block collective action. This has often led to paralysis in moments of crisis.
At the same time, global trust is eroding.
Developing nations, often called the Global South, demand a stronger voice in decisions that affect everyone. People everywhere question whether international cooperation still works. The UN at 80, adapting for the future. That is why 2025 is being seen not just as a celebration, but as a moment of renewal. The United Nations is focusing on 3 major initiatives.
1. Agenda 2030 to accelerate progress on the Sustainable Development Goals. 2. The Pact for the Future, a forward-looking agreement to modernize global governance, promote digital safety, and strengthen peace-building. And 3. The UN80 initiative, which calls for renewed trust and solidarity among nations.
Why the United Nations still matters? Some may ask, does the UN even matter anymore? But imagine a world without it. Who would coordinate disaster relief after an earthquake in Nepal or a cyclone in Mozambique? Who would deliver vaccines to every corner of the planet?
Who would monitor nuclear weapons, protect refugees, or speak for the voiceless?
Without the United Nations, there would be no universal platform to defend human rights, mediate conflicts, or tackle global crises collectively. Its existence doesn't mean the world is peaceful, but without it, the world would certainly be more violent, more unequal, and far less humane. Looking ahead.
As we mark 80 years of the United Nations, it's clear that its next chapter will depend not only on diplomats and presidents, but also on ordinary citizens, people like us.
Young voices across the world are already demanding reform, sustainability, and justice.
They are calling for a UN that listens, not lectures, that acts, not merely debates.
If the 20th century was about building nations, the 21st century must be about uniting humanity. Hope and responsibility. The story of the United Nations is still being written. It began with a world shattered by war, and continues in a world searching for peace.
The UN has not solved every problem. It has made mistakes. It has struggled with politics. But it has also saved lives, built schools, protected refugees, and defended ideals that define what it means to be human.
As we look toward the future, one truth remains.
No nation, however powerful, can solve global crises alone. And that's why the UN's blue flag, a map of the world surrounded by olive branches, still stands as one of the most powerful symbols of peace ever created.
The challenges of our time, climate change, poverty, inequality, war, demand collective will and shared responsibility. So, on United Nations Day 2025, let us not only celebrate what the UN has done, but recommit to a future we must build together.